Hey guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new, kindly consider subscribing to my YouTube channel because I'm going to give you a whole lot of strategies that will help you in your forex trading. Okay, now I teach about synthetic, but every strategies I teach can as well be applied to currency pairs, can be applied to crypto. It depends on your niche in the market. So you can apply every strategies I teach to it. So today I want to teach you something beautiful, something amazing, and I'm going to break it down for you. And I am sure by the end of this video, by the time you finish watching this particular video, you will not need any tutorial about anything liquidity or inducement again. So what I want to teach you guys is what we call, or what we all know as, inducement. I want to break it down for you. I want to give you all the full teachings about inducement. So stay tuned to the end and enjoy every bit of it, guys. Yeah. So I want to talk about inducement. What do we mean by inducement? What exactly is inducement? When we talk about inducement, it simply means a trap, a deceit from the market just to take you out. That's just what inducements mean in a simple form. It is a trap or a deceit from the market makers just to ensure you don't join them in the market. And most times you're going to notice that you are going to enter a trade where you put your stop loss. The market is going to rate it a little bit and then it will start moving in your favor. That is inducement. Yes, that is inducement. So I'm going to be teaching you how to recognize inducements in this video. Now we have the general outlook of inducement, then we have types of inducement. So let's start with the general outlook for inducement. Now I'm going to teach you guys what works for me. I don't teach what every other person teaches, but what works is what I'm going to be teaching you guys, and I'm going to be breaking it down to the simplest format. So let's say we are in a downtrend, guys. So we're in a downtrend here. Now once we have this and then we break this particular low, now that's immediate high created after that. After we break it, then you consider this high as a trap. You know, a lot of traders will be looking forward to join the sell here. A lot of traders will be looking forward to join the sell here just for the market to come here and continue to the downside. Sadly, market might not do that. Market might not do that. Okay, so about that, let me pick another polyline. Sadly, markets will not do this and continue to the downside. Markets will take this immediate high. Take this immediate high out. Then it continues. Now, when you have an immediate high after your break of structure, especially that high that did not get into your point of interest, that did not enter into your primary point of interest, maybe your order block or your sponsored candle, that particular high that did not enter, you should be on the outlook for it, because market is about to use that particular high in the downtrend to deceive you into the market, take you out and then start moving in your market. And you will notice that each time market takes out an inducement, tests the proper area, it is going to move impulsively towards your direction. It is going to move impulsively towards your direction. So let's say we break this low now and we have a creation of this high and then we break it to the downside again. Don't look to join the sell move here. Don't look to join it here. You can see that this actually stopped in the middle way. This stopped in the middle way. It did not even enter into the internal structure. You do not have to join the sell move here. The market will trap it. Sometimes the market might use this place to continue to the downside. That's another funny thing, and that is why I'm going to be teaching you about types of inducement. It will use it to continue to the downside. Before you know it, market will come back to this place and then still continue to the downside. That is inducement for you guys. It just seeks to trap in traders. It just seeks to deceive trader. Yes, we call it the market structure deceit. That is what inducement is. It is going to deceive you with that market structure. And you often see this on lower time frame. For swing traders, they make use of the daily time frame, they make use of the weekly time frame. They often don't get all of this stop out as we, the day traders. Only people with huge amounts of money trades as swing traders. But you see those day traders, you just hold trade for like some hours, or you hold trades for like some days. You will still have to get your entry on the 1 hour time frame. You have to get your entry on the 15 minutes time frame. In fact, some go down to 5 minutes time frame to get their entry. That is where you will see all of these stop outs. So you have to be careful of how you see structure on each time frame. You have to be careful of how you see structure on each time frame. So markets will just come into this place, test it properly, and then continue to the downside. Now, beware of structures created after you have your break of structure. Most of them are just a way of deceiving traders in. But when you have something like this, you have something beautiful entering into the internal structure. You have something like this properly entering into the internal structure, and then we have a break to the downside. That is your proper structure. I call this particular move the deep corrective wave. It is a deep corrective wave. It is not even giving all of these one vibes. Is not giving that. It just moved directly into where it is going to, and that is it. And sometimes you are going to see that if this eye did not test that sponsored candle properly, you will see market do something like this again, still come back to the upside, and then you will feel you have your break of structure already. That is what we call deceit from the market. It will come back and enter into your SC candle properly and still continue movement to the downside. That is what we call deceit. So all the highs created after your break of structure, after your proper break of structure, you need to be on the outlook for it. Does this test my sponsored candle properly, or is there anything wrong with this particular high? Is it a weak high or is it a weak low? Now that's for downtrend, right? So let's take a look for the up trend. So I'm going to pick our polyline again. So let's assume we are in an uptrend and we have something like this. So a break of structure to the upside, and then we have something like this, then break it to the upside again. Now be very careful of this low. Don't just enter immediately the market come back here. Don't just seek for a buy move. No, you see this low will be used as a trap. It will be used as an inducement. Sometimes it might not be used as an inducement if it had already balanced every other things. But be on the outlook for lows created after your proper break of structure, because we have break of structure to the upside, the market come back in between, we have break of structure to the upside again. Inducement breaks different structures. Okay, inducement breaks different structure. If we are in an uptrend, the first thing inducement we do is break structure to the upside, come back and break structure to the downside again. You can say we have break of structure to the upside, we'll have break of structure to the downside again, then still come back and break structure to the upside. This is what inducement does. This is not aunt of liquidity that will happen before we have a break of structure, no. But inducement, it will break structure to the upside, come back and break structure to the downside, come back again and break this structure to the upside again. That is what inducement does. So it is going to confuse a lot of traders. Imagine after we have this break of structure to the upside, people will join from here. Right? People will join the buy from here. Imagine breaking this low again to the downside. People will say, oh, fine, that is a sell move. People will want to join in between for a sell move. Take them out again. You can see how it has trapped traders in 3 ways. 3 different ways. Break structure to the upside, making you assume, oh, yes, we are in an uptrend. Then you will enter the buy here. In fact, it might give you one small candle confirmation. Okay, a lot of people call it candle confirmation. Yes, so it might give you a lot of candle confirmation that okay, let's buy, it's about to buy. In fact, it might give you a very sharp move away from this PO high, and it will come back and break it again. So when this low is broken, a lot of people will also say, oh yes, we are in a downtrend, I need to enter this sell, I need to move with the sell, and I'm sure it's going to sell. And in between, they start joining the sell market, and eventually the market comes back to break this high and still come back here and continue the movements, the buy movements. So that is why I always teach my students that when you see this BMS to the downside, don't just assume it is a break of structure to the downside. It is a change of character to you. Every first BMS is a change of character. You can't be so sure if the market is ready to sell at that particular moment. You can't be so sure if it is ready to sell, because market traps people in anyhow. And also we have time frame differences. Yes, we have time frame differences. This low on the higher time frame might just be a candle with a wick. This particular low on the higher time frame might just be a wick. So the market just takes it out and then continues, and then before you know it, you start saying, oh, the market is manipulative, the market is this, the market is that. No, you need to be able to see this, and then you should watch out for your time frame differences also. It is going to help you. Watch out for your time frame differences and see if this particular low is a real low on your higher time frame. If you see this on the 15 minutes time frame, check your 4 hours time frame. What is this low saying? Is it a small wick that the market might not be able to use to continue to the upside, and then it will just take it out? That is one of the simplest way you can notice your inducement. Once you see lows created this way on the lower time frame, maybe on the 15 minutes time frame, check your 4 hours time frame. Where is this low? What is this low saying on the 4 hours time frame? It is going to help you to discern if it is truly a real test or it is just a trap from the market. Okay, so that being said, let's go into types of inducement. Like I told you guys earlier, we have types of inducement. The first type of inducement we have is the primary inducement, and the second one we have is the secondary inducement. So let me show you guys. I'm going to be using should I use a downtrend? Okay, let's use a downtrend for this scenario. So we have this move to the downside. Okay, let's say we have this move to the downside. Then on our way to the downside here to break the high, we have something created this way. Then we have break of structure to the downside. Now this is the inducement created. This is about primary inducement created, because most often this high will not get to sponsored candle. It will just create it as a way of trap, that when traders come, they will see this as a base candle and then they will continue to the downside. Most often it is not so. Okay, most often it is not like that. This high is what the market will use as a trap. The market will take this and then continue to the downside. This is our primary inducement. It is close to your sponsored candle. And let me tell you guys how this is often formed most times. So I'm going to draw the internal structure with this so that you can understand everything I'm going to be saying. So we are in a downtrend, okay, and we will have this kind of movement to the upside, right? We'll have this kind of movement to the upside, which we call our minor structure. If you are here to watch our structure video, please go and do that so that you can know why we call this particular one minor structure. Now, before we have this minor break, you can have something like this and like this, and market will break it to the downside. So most often markets will do something like this, then come back again and still continue. And in that process of doing all of this, a lot of people will count this as a break of structure to break this high again. Yes, not knowing this is the high, this is the primary inducement the market wants to target. And after taking it, it will come back and break this low again and continue to the downside. And there you have your proper move to the downside. Okay, a lot of people will count this as a break of structure, whereas we already have one break of structure here, indicating that we want to go to the downside. So market comes back to take this high as an inducement and enter properly into your secondary point of inducement. Now you can have it in this scenario too. Let's look at another scenario. So let's pick our polyline again. So we have downtrend, right? So we have all this minor structure being created, all of this minor structure created to the upside. And then we have something like this, BMS, then it will give something like this, break structure to the downside, come back again. Can you see this, guys? Now the first one we had here, the first one we had here was a PMS to the downside. Before we had PMS to the downside, this high was created. So we had the PMS to the downside and market created this high again, then came back to pick out this inducement, this particular high. It came back to pick it out as an inducement and it entered properly here, and then it's continued to the downside. Now check this, guys. We had a BMS before we created this high. It is a primary inducement, guys. It is a primary inducement. So yeah, I'm sure you understand that. So I'm going to show you guys on chart. So let's check for the secondary inducements. When we talk about secondary inducements, this is the way it forms. I'm going to use a downtrend also to illustrate. So we have this as, okay guys, so our minor structure, we break this, then we have this. So I'm giving you instances of our primary inducements here also. So after we break our proper structure to the downside, market then comes and creates something like this. Then we continue to the downside. You see this particular high created after we broke structure to the downside is our secondary inducement. I explained it as a range structure earlier. This high is our secondary inducement. This is our secondary inducement. In most cases, you see market come back, just take out this high, use a breaker, and then continue to the downside. That is a secondary inducement. So let's go to chart, guys. So I'm going to, okay, this is volatility 25. I guess I saw something like that on the 15 minutes time frame. So let's check out the 15 minutes time frame and see what the market did. Now hold on, guys, this is very beautiful. We had BMS to the upside, right? We had BMS to the upside. I love changing this to black. We had BMS to the downside again. Check this, guys. The first general outlook of inducements I explained. Then we came back and have this to the upside. After that, then we came back and still broke that same structure to the downside. Can you see how well the market has confused a lot of traders in? Now see something beautiful that happened here. I told you when market gets to this PO high, it might even give you an entry confirmation. Can you see engulfing candlestick here? Can you see engulfing here? This is engulfing. A lot of traders see this as a continuation to the upside. Okay, since it has broken structure to the upside, let me just enter here. And it took them out, broke the structure to the downside, and then continue in the move. It happened somewhere again. So you can, in fact, it's something you can see everywhere. It happened. Okay. Just chill, guys. Okay. Check this also. We had a BMS to the upside. A BMS to the upside, right? We have a BMS to the downside. A BMS to the downside. We had the BMS to the upside again. Right? This is a BMS to the upside again. And we came back to break structure to the downside. This is our general outlook of what? Of our inducements. And you can see that trap. See how many traps the market did. BMS to the upside, right? Came back. In fact, it gave a candle confirmation here to continue a buy. Then it came back and still broke this low. And came back and break this high again. Then give a continuation to the downside to break that low. So let's see our primary inducement and our secondary inducement. So guys, we had this break of structure here, right? A break of structure to continue to the downside. Our market had already created this high already inside before we broke structure. See what the market did. Can you see that, guys? This is our primary inducement. This is our primary inducement. It came back and gave a good test of sponsored candle. That's clean enough. Okay. Can you see that, guys? It took out our primary inducement that could not enter into the sponsored candle, and then it continued to the upside. So see this also. We had BMS to the downside. We had BMS to the downside here. Leaving this one out, not entering into our sponsored candle. So see what we have here. The market took it out, and then where did the market choose? See where the market chose. That's particular high. So you have to be careful of how you see the markets. Now if we check this higher time frame, you see this inducement high. It might just be a candle. In fact, it might just be inside a particular candle moving. So you have to use eyes to see all of these things. So let's see what happened there again. Okay, there was no inducement created here. Okay, now that's for primary inducement. So let's check our secondary inducement and see. So let's look for our secondary inducement. Okay, after we have our BMS, we will have our secondary inducements. Okay. Okay, let's check another instrument. Let's check another instrument instead of seeing our volatility 25. So let's check another instrument for secondary inducement. So I think I love volatility 101s. Let's see if we are going to get a very clear secondary inducement here. This was also inducement that happened here. See this, guys, a BMS to the upside, a BMS to the upside. This was the low created even before we broke this high. People will be looking forward to join the buy here because we have an untested demand zone here to continue, and you can see how the market took it out and used another area for a continuation to the upside. So let's just check out. Okay, beautiful. So we have our secondary inducement clearly here. We have our secondary inducement clearly here. We had a BMS to the upside, a BMS to the upside. This was the low created after the BMS. This was the low created after the BMS, and you can see what the market did. Pure inducements, and then it came back to the sponsored candle. Remember, I said especially when we don't have a test in the sponsored candle already. So let's check what happened inside of this place. I took this market yesterday, volatility 101 Hz, and it displayed something like that. So we have this BMS to the upside. Check this, guys. This is a BMS. The reason I classified this as a BMS is this. Check it. We had this high induced. We had this high induced already. So we were not supposed to take that high if we are not going to be buying. After we had that BMS to the upside, check what market did. It took out this low as our secondary inducement. This is a secondary inducement. It took it out, and you can see how well it bought. The market came back again. The market came back again and still took out this our low. It took out this our low again and continued to the downside and continued to the upside. You can see this, guys. So, and this happened after we've broken this high. This take of this low happened after we've taken our external liquidity. In fact, I love this formation of this particular market. Can you see we had a BMS? Our external liquidity had already been taken, and I told you guys that we have the exhaustion of liquidity. This liquidity that was taken here, this low that was taken here, the exhaustion was when we break this our external liquidity. You have to know when your liquidity is exhausted. So until we break this our high, the market shouldn't come back and take this low. And since we've broken it, the market can come back and still use this place as an inducement. The inducement market used around this area was as a result of breaking this high to the upside, this particular high to the upside. So that was why it's presented all it did here as secondary inducement. But after we've taken our external liquidity again, market used this place as an inducement also. So it is very simple as that. That's going to be all for now, guys. I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Keep living in the atmosphere of profit. Bye, guys.